What's up, everybody? Welcome back and happy Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers, bringing you your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. And they're linked as usual in the description to this video, so go ahead and check them out. So we're going to talk about that cold front that's continuing to move through the Ohio Valley into today, tracked through parts of the Midwest and Mississippi Valley last night, leaving us with some delightfully cold air. So that's coming into the Ohio Valley today, through the Northeast into tomorrow, and we'll have some pop-up storms through the plains as well. And then we're going to get more into your roofing weather, what that's going to look like in the next 48 hours, as well as canvassing for DFW and OKC, where it's a little bit hotter. Going to talk about all of that, and then getting into the tropics. We do now have Tropical Storm Lee that has formed in the Atlantic, and it's heading westward, a little bit suspiciously close to some population centers and some land. So we're going to talk about Tropical Storm Lee here at the end of the show. So right now it's actually really beautiful. If you're behind this low pressure system, we got a nice cold air mass that's coming in behind that, and so it's starting to feel like fall if you're back there, and a little bit of rain and some cloud cover out ahead of it in the Ohio Valley right now. There's that front, or I guess the north edge of that, and then the south edge is kind of down through the southeast. But look at those temperatures right now. 72 degrees in Kansas City, 64 in Minneapolis. I would love it to be 64 degrees here in Oklahoma City, but still really not bad down through Oklahoma. And then we get down into the 90s once you move towards like Texas and into the southeast and everything, where that cold front hasn't quite hit yet. But you know, we're in the 80s in Fort Wayne, and it should start to continue, well, it should continue to cool down into this afternoon and evening as that cold front continues to make its way through. So some good news for us that have been sitting in that heat. And as far as the humidity, again, really not bad if you're behind that front. Just a touch muggy through like Oklahoma City, Topeka, and then a little bit worse once we're out towards the Ohio Valley into today. But then tomorrow, again, that cold front tracks through, and we should see those muggy conditions start to taper off a little bit through that area and not really changing a whole lot through the southeast. So that's kind of the setup that we have with that system tracking through, and as it goes, it's going to bring some scattered storms through Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, trying to push off to the east through the New England states, and that'll continue into tomorrow's storm risk. But just some generally pop-up showers here and there for the Ohio Valley. Now down on the southern end of that front, that's where we could potentially see more of a hail risk, since we got a little bit more instability going on. Got some storms popping up around 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, depending on where you're at. I think this whole area is in Central Time, but could potentially see some quarters out of those storms initially. And then as they sink down to the southeast, seeing more wind chances pick up, and we'll see how far south things track into today through tonight before they finally taper off. So for your hail forecast for today, it's really just going to be kind of that corridor there from Kentucky down into Louisiana. Could potentially see some quarters here and there for Nashville, for Memphis. We'll see if it can make it all the way south to Jackson, but low end chances across the board for that whole region to get severe hail. Then for wind, now it's going to be a wider area, just basically along that whole cold front, up from northern Michigan down into Kentucky. Could potentially see some gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Same for you guys in the Tennessee Valley down through Louisiana and far eastern Texas. Could potentially see one of those pop-up storms, you know, producing a stronger gust than the others, but it's going to be very scattered into today. Pretty much the same deal for scattered storms into tomorrow. We're going to see this first area starting to intensify a little bit by around 8 p.m., potentially getting a couple of severe stones out of that, and then we'll see one down here through Oklahoma and Kansas popping up in the overnight hours. That'll sink down to the southeast, and again, potentially get us some severe weather with that. Then off in the New England states, we'll have that front continuing off to the east, and we should see some more storm coverage picking up by around 5 p.m. Eastern through New York all the way down into the Virginias. As those continue up to the northeast, we could potentially see some higher winds before they finally make their way off into the Atlantic through the overnight hours. So For hail, it's going to be pretty much limited to the plains and limited to quarters, again, here and there. It's going to be very scattered. From central Nebraska all the way into maybe Omaha, could see some quarters. Same with Tulsa and Fort Smith into tomorrow for that severe hail risk. Then into wind, it's going to be those 3 areas now, including the northeast, and that's really going to be the bulk of where that severe wind comes from. But anywhere in the plains could see some higher gusts through the evening and overnight hours with those storms expected to track through. If you're from Roanoke all the way up into parts of Maine, that's where, again, we're going to have more of an organized system tracking eastward with that cold front, so a little bit better of a chance to see some more severe winds frequently through the New England states, but still very low end in general across the board there for you. So that's today into tomorrow, and here's what we kind of got for your roofing weather, or if you're just an outdoor enthusiast, want to be out and about, here's what you're dealing with. So today by 5 p.m., Dallas, you're breaking the scales, and Phoenix, surprise, surprise. I mean, you got those heat islands and then Phoenix doing Phoenix things. But everywhere else is 80s and 90s, not too terrible in terms of temperature, but you do have some scattered showers to be working with through parts of the Tennessee Valley and maybe into north central Texas. You get some pop-up showers here and there today. And then into tomorrow afternoon, again, it's going to be pretty hot if you're in central Texas there, but everywhere else is sitting, again, in the 80s and 90s. So that's pretty hot if you're up on a roof, or, you know, if you're hiking around on some pavement, say, or something like that. You know, you can get some pretty hot temperatures just due to that sunshine and those ambient temperatures. And then tomorrow, we're not working with a lot of rain through the area, just mostly through the New England states there, where we're also sitting in the 90s. So that's kind of what you're dealing with here for the next 48 hours for roofing and, you know, getting out and about into tomorrow. So if you guys are canvassing now in Dallas, again, you could be dealing with some pop-up storms into today through tomorrow, but really it's that heat index that we're watching up to 110 degrees. It's pretty much just baking Dallas, and then again, just the ambient temperature, the regular temperature without factoring into that humidity gets up to 104 degrees by 4 p.m. So if you're not already, those morning hours might be the time of day that you want to get out and about and do your door knocking, because that's when it's going to be significantly cooler than the evening hours. Pretty much the same for Oklahoma City here, still dealing with those higher heat index values at or a little bit above 100 degrees into tomorrow. And then again, you're seeing those air temperatures also reaching triple digits by around 4 p.m. So if you guys need to get out and about, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. seems to be kind of the prime time for the central and southern plains into tomorrow to be doing that. So now I'm going to leave you guys with the tropics, as usual. We got one disturbance now that's headed off to the west-northwest through the Atlantic, just made its way off land. And so, again, we're still sitting at a 30% chance of development over the next 48 hours, and ticked it down a little bit to 60% from 70 yesterday to development. But we'll see what conditions it encounters as it moves up into the central part of the Atlantic basin. What we're really watching is Lee out ahead of that. That's that satellite view of Lee right now, and you can see that circulation with that storm. Right now, it is just below hurricane force, 70-mile-an-hour winds. We need 74 to be a hurricane. So should shortly become a Category 1 as it moves up to the west-northwest. Again, now we're making our way towards the Windward Islands. Potential to see intensification on this into a major hurricane Category 4. It's not really working with a ton of limiting factors. I mean, you got really nice warm waters through that area, not a lot of shear. So expecting to see Lee intensify as it tracks that way, 140-mile-an-hour winds expected by Friday. Now that's going to continue off to the west-northwest. We'll see what that upper air pattern does. That's going to steer this guy, and we'll see if it allows it to continue towards the U.S. or if it kind of shoves it up to the north. We're going to watch, but right now this cone has it tracking up north of San Juan, up above a lot of the Caribbean, and then potentially, again, we'll kind of see if that continues to track towards Florida. So we'll update you guys. Now this is on Monday, so we got some time to see what that air pattern does, and we're going to keep a very close eye on Lee as it starts to head potentially into our neck of the woods, and we'll let you guys know what's happening. But if you guys want more info, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video, and smash that subscribe button everywhere else. And then if you want to get in contact with us, go ahead and scan the QR code up above me or click the link in the description to this video. That gets you access to all of our live severe storm mapping products. And if you want more info on those, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And we'll be back as usual tomorrow at noon to provide you guys with all of your severe weather updates. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers. Thanks for watching.